Nice and quiet.
The Casual Vacancy has 23 main characters. You know, it spans 468 pages.
How am I telling the story? Who's talking to me? How do we get into this? How do we make it simple so the audience gets it straight away?
The book is a hard book to adapt because so much of the story is told through people's internal thoughts.
People talk sometimes about, oh, let's make it an ensemble cast. It's maybe because they can't afford to have the lead. In this case, it genuinely is an ensemble cast.
Pagford is a sort of microcosm of British society, and because it's character driven, the locations themselves become a bit like characters.
The Casual Vacancy has 23 main characters. You know, it spans 468 pages. I mean, it's a big work. Quite a daunting task, I think. Very quickly, we fell upon Sarah Phelps. We had an extraordinary meeting that we went up to Edinburgh to meet Joe.
And I said, for me, Crystal is Tess. She's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. And Joe sort of eyes filled with tears. Yes, yes, like this.
Sarah just bowled over Joe with what was not only Sarah's vision, but also what was the heart of the piece.
You're going to stick with us?
Crystal is the beating heart of this story.
Yeah.
Crystal's story, but also this village and watching this village tear itself apart and tear each other apart, but at the same time as having laughs and looking at people's idiosyncrasies.
I'm getting man boobs.
It's very much what Joe was doing, which is basically telling one of those great big 19th century stories, which is watching an individual and their environment working on them. The environment and the choices other people have made and the status that other people occupy and the money that they have and the aspirations that they have.
What is this?
This is what I'm owed, what I'm due.
Well, how much did it cost? We can't
And
afford
this didn't come from no shop, no. I know people.
I don't start adapting a book and thinking, right, slash and burn, give me my machete, I'm going in and it's going to be unrecognisable and tears are going to be shed. How am I telling the story? Who's talking to me? How do we see this world? How do we make it simple so the audience gets it straight away?
It was a mere matter of weeks before the parish council will vote on Sweet Love House. Is it still fulfilling its remit of being for the enjoyment and betterment of the people of the fields, or does it have another future?
Oh, boutique hotel and spa.
It was first important for me to get inside the head of the writer of the source material.
You need to come right the way around here.
Joe Rowling, and then through that text understand the magnitude of what Sarah had undertaken as a screenwriter to try and bring that to life in a 3-hour window.
Oh, hi, Barry. It's Sunday. I know.
Now go home.
Got rather a lot to do. See?
It's all going to be fine.
The things that Sarah did is that she was acutely aware that some of the things that really work in a book, any book, but in particular this book, wouldn't necessarily work as an adaptation. And I think that maybe one of the best examples is the way that she built up the role of Barry Fairbrother.
Give Terry Reed McKay. What are we gonna...
In the book, he's dead very quickly. And he doesn't come back, you don't see him again. And I just wanted to make us get to know Barry much better by keeping him in longer.
She did that by creating more material around him, and also, in a very interesting way, the ghost of Barry Fairbrother, which is a feature that is in the book, but bring that alive.
Everyone's got skeletons rattling in their cupboard. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Clock's ticking, Pagford.
It's crucial that Barry's death is the catalyst for everyone else's story, and by the end of the story you want to feel that his death has been a force of change for whatever reason, for good or for bad, on each of the family's lives.
You don't have to come back. Stay in here.
Hey, you go and get yourself chips in a pie or whatever. Get your tea.
Want some?
Yeah, I'll have some.
Red sauce or brown?
Both. And a gherkin.
Disgusting. Like green knobs.
You have to have the humour, because humour is life, and the way people talk to each other has got to be full of bounce and verve and swagger and just the absolute normal discourse about the way people talk to each other. Because if everything is heavy and everything is leaden with the ominous portent, then you've been prepared for the tragedy and you just don't see it. It doesn't matter.
We should interview them. If they're outsiders, make sure they're Padford people.
For an allotment.
So every caution must be taken.
We should waterboard them just to be on the safe side. Guardian reader.
It was really important for me that this was an amusing piece as well as tragic and moving. And so the choice of actor then becomes quite slim.
People talk about sometimes about, oh, let's make it an ensemble cast. It's maybe because they can't afford to have the lead. In this case, it genuinely is an ensemble cast. And we thought that the biggest challenge was, of course, going to be the kids.
Crystal, that's a big ask. You think this is going to be hard, finding a very young actress to be able to play this range.
We really lucked out. I mean, we found, our Crystal, Abigail, pretty early on, I think on day 2.
She did the most extraordinary audition that I've ever encountered. It was just fantastic, and it was like our Crystal. It was perfect.
Tell her what you really are.
What's that?
Authentic.
And then it was just, oh, let's have fun. Who are the people that we can find?
Michael Gambon as Howard Mollison, yes, absolutely.
Be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.
Monica Donan, Simon McBurney.
Julia Mackenzie with those bright, sharp little eyes and that naughty pixie smile and that absolute acid behind her teeth. Fantastic.
Maybe you should go back to the doctors.
Rufus Jones and Keeley Hawes.
Grab a handful.
Fabulous.
Now, any other business?
I don't know whether it's because it's J.K. Rowling or because, but there's something that's really fired their imaginations off with these characters, and they've sort of fallen in love with them individually, and it really shows, I think, in their performances. What Joe's done very cleverly in the novel, and Sarah has echoed and amplified through the screenplay, is the idea, the notion that Pagford is a sort of microcosm of British society in some form or other, but is conveniently quirky enough for us to initially think, oh, it's not about us. This is a community, this is a fiction. But once you're drawn into the story, you soon realise that it's the same everywhere, and that human vices and qualities are universal, no matter where you live.
You look like Pagford people to me. Oh, thanks.
You always look and say, oh, well, we must find a village in Cotswolds which looks like Pagford, surely. Much is further from the truth. So in the end, we ended up with 4 key locations, Bisley, Northleach and Painswick, that all make up one village, which was a real challenge.
It was really important for me to find cinematic locations because it's character driven. The locations themselves become a bit like characters and certainly have an impact on the characters who inhabit those spaces.
Let's get some light in here, shall we?
And as we travelled around the Cotswolds and the West Country, gradually, bit by bit, Pagford sort of came to life.
It's been so carefully done that you're in one street in Bisley and then you turn a corner and then you're in Painswick, and it's done so seamlessly and so carefully that I don't think you'll ever feel that we've used so many locations to make our Pagford.
Get out of here! Your parents are coming. There's the parents up there. Junkies. Fat twat. You call me fat? Look at yourself. This is what I'm trying to save us from. Ruination of Pagford.
We've had a most amazing summer to shoot. It sort of felt quite Hollywood at times. Amazing blue skies, beautiful sunshine has made it a very colourful, hopefully visually enticing and aesthetically pleasing drama to watch and be engaged in.